I'd go. So right, I've completely lost my hard drive. Everything that I collected from 2009 all the way up to last month, I don't have anymore. I'm in the process of trying to recover them. Until that happens, I either have to move on and start over, or I can find some other things to, preoccupy my time. And there was a lot of things that I was working on that tried to mitigate that, but I've lost that as well. I thought, what else to do other than to answer a few questions that I see roaming around Instagram. I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability based on what I've seen and what I know. So on my opinions and my answers. So with that being said, here we go. Favorite aircraft. I don't have a favorite aircraft per se. I have favorite aircrafts from different manufacturers. From Boeing, it's the 767. From Airbus, it's the A330. My all-time favorite aircraft that you could say, I really love the DC-10, but it doesn't really matter in this time and age, so I guess I can lean more towards the 767. Least favorite aircraft. Anybody who knows me knows how much I rant and rave about the Embraer ERJ 145s. For some reason, I just don't like that aircraft. Favorite airline? The one I prefer is JetBlue, believe it or not. I flew on Bahamas Air, I flew on Spirit Airlines, I flew on Southwest, I flew on Cubana. JetBlue beats them. Least favorite airlines. I forgot to mention American Airlines. Of all the airlines I flew, American Airlines, you're on the bottom of my list. You have your ups, you have your downs, but the 2 times that I flew on you, there's nothing for me to rant and rave about. You're just not my favorite. Favorite airport? Charleston, South Carolina airport. Honestly, I haven't spent that much time at the airport, but what I've seen and what I've experienced, it's not big, it doesn't get that much traffic, but it's unique, and apart from it also serving as a Air Force base, it also serves as the final production plan for the Boeing 787, and that really amused me, and I've always said I wanted to go back to Charleston because of some reasons, but that is my favorite airport. Close second is Fort Lauderdale. Least favorite airport. Everybody say it with me. Miami International Airport. There was a post I saw on Instagram that said that people rated MIA as one of their favorite airports, and there was mass confusion because we don't know where they even got those results from, because nobody likes MIA. Especially as a Bahamian, anytime we travel from Nassau going to Florida, South Florida specifically, we prefer to travel through Fort Lauderdale than Miami, because Miami is a horrible airport to go through. Airport you want to spot out. Airports, because it isn't just one specific airport, it's more like an area. I've always said I wanted to go to Seattle, so me spotting at Seattle Tacoma International, Boeing Field, Payne Field up in Everett, you can see where I'm going with this. That's where I want to go, and that's what I want to experience, and hopefully one day, as long as COVID don't ruin my plans like it did last year. Favorite low-cost carrier? Can we count JetBlue as a low-cost carrier, honestly? Because other than JetBlue, the only other carrier I flew was Southwest, and I really don't have that much to say about Southwest because the experience I have with them is only a 35-minute flight to and from Fort Lauderdale from Nassau. So I would guess I have to say JetBlue again. Current camera. Well, see, my current camera, which I'm using right now, is a Panasonic Lumix G7. I got it in January 2016. I love this camera. I only have 2 lenses. I like 3 lenses for the camera. One is a 14 to 45 millimeter, and the next one is a 45 millimeter to 200 lens. I want a 100 to 300 or 400 lens, but that will depend whether or not I go for my new camera. New camera, I'm talking as if I'm getting a new camera soon. But that's one of the questions, which is camera you want. I'm staying within the Lumix family. I want the Lumix S5. It's a full frame camera compared to this Micro Four Thirds camera that I have, and it's going to be a massive upgrade, and I'm looking forward to the day that I finally shoot it, not just for aviation stuff but for other content. Lens you want. For this camera, if I had to get a lens, it would be a 25mm prime lens, and then again for the telephoto it would be a 100 to 300 or 100 to 400 millimeter lens. Either or, there's something I have to give, because at our airport, when it comes to spotting, we are relatively away from runway. So I need something with a lot of reach, but then at the same time, depending on where I put myself at the airport, the current lens that I have, the 45 to 200 millimeters, is perfect. Airline you want to try. People's gonna come after me for saying this. I know people will say I want to try Emirates or Turkish Airways or Qatar. You know, I want to try Ryanair. Maybe funny, but honestly, all the funny stuff, negative stuff, the flack that Ryanair gets, I want to experience that for myself. But you know, the world is big. I don't have to just home in on Ryanair. I could always fly any airline. Just give time, and as long as COVID don't prolong like it has for the last almost 2 years now. I would also like to fly Alitalia, but Alitalia is dead, so there's that. Favorite regional jet. I love the CRJ series, honestly and truly, but it's now under new hands and I don't like that. So I have to go on to my second favorite, which is the Embraer E-Jets, specifically the 175s. I just love them. They look so odd, but at the same time, I just love them. I'll take them over a CRJ any day. That specific one. Airbus or Boeing? No, but really, I prefer slightly Boeing than Airbus, even though I don't have a favorite between them, even though I have this shirt. I just like the catalog of aircraft Boeing have, not just the current one, but in the past as well. So, yeah. Favorite photo you taken? The 787 came here early part of this year, and arguably, it's the best photo I've ever taken. Not only did it satisfy my 787 drought at this airport for so long, this isn't even actually a photo. This is actually a still from a video, but it's still my favorite because after so long, again, so long of waiting for a 787 to finally come here and for me to actually catch it, I was full of emotions that day. That's a day I can never forget. Favorite aircraft you've spotted? I would have to say, I guess now, Bahama says 737s. Mostly because it's going to become rare to catch these in the coming future, especially this one that has a very funny story that annoys somebody. Rarest catch, again. And this one pissed me off even more because we only got that aircraft all because of a hurricane, who shall not be named. I am so happy that that aircraft actually came. Disappointed how it left, but you know, you win some, you lose some. At least I got it. Best flight you've ever taken? I don't even have to think hard about this. It's a JetBlue flight from Nassau to Orlando in 2016. That flight, we went on an Embraer E190, and you know, the plane can hold 100 people. There was only 20 people on the plane, and majority of them were seated in front of the wings. And me and my folks, we were seated, I believe we were in 11 or 12, row 12. We completed the boarding in less than 10 minutes. And the flight attendant had to come and tell us that we had to, if we wanted to, we could choose any seat in the rear aircraft just for, you know, to balance the aircraft in terms of weight and what's not. But then for that whole hour, almost hour and 30 minutes flight, they gave us more snacks than we were supposed to. The Wi-Fi was actually working. That was also the first time I actually walked on an aircraft whilst it was flying. I know, small winds. It was smooth. The flight crew was friendly. I just wish I could experience that one more time. We'll see about that. Dream vacation. I want to go to Italy. I've always said I wanted to go to Italy. I just didn't have the excuse. I got the excuse to go last year, February, right before we fell into the pandemic. I'm going to be working towards that. I ain't say where. Y'all find out when it happens. Favorite aircraft to photograph? I will drop everything just to catch a 767 over here because it's becoming ever so rare. The plane only came here because British Airways used to fly them, but the 767s are now retired. And now from British Airways, we are getting the 777 service, even though we were supposed to get the 787. But you know, British Airways is currently the only airline here that sends a wide body plane. It's soon going to be changed when Virgin Atlantic starts their service next month in November 20th. But that's only going to be a seasonal run, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but we'll see. Biggest accomplishment, that would have to be me staking out Cayman Airways 737 MAX on New Year's Eve into the new year for 2019. That was one of the most enduring tests a plane spotter can ever undertake, because I got to the airport around 7 p.m. that day and I didn't leave until 2 a.m. There was no planes coming in. Well, some planes coming in. The 737 MAX, it came late, it departed late, and like I said, it was draining, and the vantage point I wanted to take, I couldn't take because the airport was surrounded by water because it had rained the day before. Not only that, but it was also at night, which is a plane spotter's worst nightmare, especially for plane spotters here on this island where the airport isn't even lit up. How I managed to catch that plane in its entirety, by far the most incredible accomplishment I've ever undertaken. Sporting buddies, that's them right there. Cameron, Daniel, Tyler, Latrell, all their glory. Follow them on Instagram. If they got Twitter, that may be their Twitter handles too, I don't know, but that's them right there. That's who I play in spot with. That's the OG right there. Him, can't beat him. Most flown airline, yeah, that's a little bit, I want to say JetBlue, but then at the same time I want to say Bahamas Air, because I flew Bahamas Air a lot, especially when I was younger. But then I also flew JetBlue a lot when I was older. It's a toss-up between both, but just to be safe, let me say Bahamas Air. Most underrated airline. I'm gonna say Western Air. Western Air, yeah, them. Underrated spotters. To be honest, everybody is underrated. Everybody have their own strengths, everybody have their own weaknesses. Unfortunately, that's not how the world works, but you know, you win some, you lose some, live and learn, and tomorrow is another day. Tips for beginners. I actually supposed to do an updated plane spotting guide. Now that I got a little bit more time, I'm gonna do that. But basically, you don't need the fanciest of equipments, you don't need the best and greatest camera, you don't have to look towards other people and see what they're using and say, okay, I need that in order to start spotting. If you have a phone, no matter how bad the camera quality is, hey, you can start with that. I mean, that's how I started. I started with a small little BlackBerry phone, and then I also had a BlackBerry Playbook tablet recording my moments. That's how I started. And then I got a little 480p camcorder, and some of the videos are still up on my channel. And then I upgraded to, you know, my Lumix FC200 and then the same camera. So, and I'm not perfect, but nobody's perfect. You can start however you want. Just don't let the negative criticism get you, honestly, because some people will say that you need to quit, you need to stop copying others. There's only so much you can do. Just focus on you and you'll do fine. Favorite spotting location. Okay, here at this airport, my favorite spotting location is anything along runway 28 and 14. Like, that area, you can catch any plane, no matter where they're taking off, no matter where they're landing, no matter which runway is the active runway. Like, that's my sweet spot. However, don't really want to be there because it's right next to the road, and sometimes you can see cars or trucks coming, and then sometimes also police get a little bit stingy and it gets annoying. And at the same time too, if runway 14 is the active, you can't really see when they're coming because there are trees that's inside the airport boundary that ain't supposed to be there, but they're there, so there's nothing you can do about it. But that's still my favorite spot. Best looking aircraft. You really shouldn't ask me this question because I will say the 767. That is a sexy aircraft to me, honestly. Next to that is the 757, and then it's the A330, and if you A340, then A300, and then the 747. People crucify me for that, but I don't care. This is my opinion. Ugliest aircraft. The shorts! The shorts! No, really. The shorts 360 or the 330. Any one of them could be the ugliest aircraft that I've ever seen. I had this drilled into my head from I was in school. I would see pictures of when Bahamas Air used to operate the shorts 330 and the 360 in our classrooms, and I would always look at those pictures and I would say, that's one ugly aircraft. And I'm not the only one. Even non-aviation people, my former classmates would say the exact same thing. So me being a plane spotter and how we get shorts 360 as cargo flights here from South Florida, I want to take pictures of them. I sometimes do take pictures of them on video, but then at the same time I'm like, why? How is this thing still around? Craziest travel experience. I have a video explanation right here, or you can check the description box below with me detailing my trip to Cuba, which I still haven't went into details with because it still amazes me to this day, and it's 6 years later, how it managed to go down the way it did. But you know, I'm forever grateful because at least it granted me an opportunity to fly on my baby. What got you into plane spotting? I started in 2012 because of Cameron. What had happened was Bahamas Air was getting rid of their 737-200s, and me and Cameron at the time, we were attending the same college. Even though I had started plane spotting a little bit early in the year, the original videos were on a channel that I lost. So this is my second channel that I created 2012. I started from there, again using my tablet as a camera to capture my moments, but that's where I really started, and everything just escalated from there. Almost 10 years since I started plane spotting. That is powerful. Favorite standard livery, Inter-Caribbean. A lot of people don't know who Inter-Caribbean is. Not only is it the most beautiful livery in the entire Caribbean region, it could arguably be the most beautiful livery in the world. My opinion, but just go check it out. Favorite special livery, JetBlue, Blueprint. If you can tell me, show me any other aircraft, any airline that has a livery which it shows the exoskeleton an x-ray of what the airplane is flying, come back at me. Largest aircraft ever flown. Remember, I just talked about my craziest travel experience, me going to Cuba. The silver lining to all of that was that I got to travel on my baby. I got to fly on a 767-300 by Fly Jamaica. And even though the aircraft was old, the joy and excitement that was on my face when I first got on that aircraft, the joy and excitement that was on my face when I first found out that I was going on it, I called Cameron and I was breathing hard that, oh my god, I'm going on a 767. And you know, I want to do that again, but the choices of flying on a 767 is getting so limited right now. But at least I can say, and I have proof, but that's only if I managed to recover my hard drive, I flew on a 767. That's all that matters to me. Smallest aircraft flown on. Okay, so it's going to be between the Dash 8 300s and an ATR 42 500 by Aero Gaviota. I am pretty sure the ATR is smaller than the Dash 8. So I'm going to say that. Retired aircraft you miss the most. I am still mad Bahamas Air got rid of their Dash 8s, but you know, it's understandable why I got rid of them. But you know, the Bahamian aviation community over here really love them, really appreciate them. They have a distinct look, a distinct sound. We used to love how they land, especially on one wheels. We know why they land on one wheel, doing them wheelie landings. There was only 5 of them at the time when they got retired, and a lot of us had favorites. We individually called each aircraft by the last letter of their registration. And my favorite was Gulf, which was among one of the oldest Dash 8s in the fleet. And Gulf was my favorite because that was the first plane that I ever stepped foot on. Not just the first Dash 8, but the first plane I ever stood on, I ever got on, flew on at the age of 7. And that was also the first plane that I flew on when I went to Crooked Island, my home island. It's something I miss, something that will live on in my head because I don't have any footage. Even before I lost my hard drive, I don't have any footage of those planes when I flew on them, but I am so glad I managed to catch them at the time when I did. Also at the same time, anytime a Dash 8 comes over here where I don't care what I'm doing, I'm gonna drop everything and I'm gonna catch it. Just like how that Dash 8 100 came here after the hurricane that shall not be named, I'm gonna do the exact same thing because that just made my heart so warm and fuzzy inside when I saw that. Most recent flight, I haven't flew since December 2019. My last trip report was on Southwest Airlines. Link in the description box below. That's the last time when I flew. Best spotting memory. Okay, this may be the longest answer that I'm going to give because I actually had to explain this. It was the day Southwest made its inaugural flight to Nassau 2014. I was with Cameron and our friend Delano, we call Lano. We were out of our houses before the sunrise and way after the sunset. That's a day I can't ever forget because we went jogging around Bahama, we went swimming to the beach nearby, then we all came by me to waste time just waiting for Southwest to come, playing Flight Simulator and all them other stuff. Then when we got out there, it started raining, and I ain't talking about this light drizzle, spry rain. I'm talking about full-on thunderstorm rain. Southwest came in a thunderstorm. All of us was frantically panicking because we were seeing lightning and stuff, but we still managed to catch a shot. And then even after the runway change, we caught it. We still stayed around, and we even stayed until British Airways came and left. That's when they still was flying that 767, and we was and we were this is a funny memory. And and Cameron and Lano, they were arguing about mosquitoes and then denting Cameron's whole car, and then even up to the point when we was going home, Cameron and them was making fun of the cars using terms of, oh, I'm gonna activate turbo. Listen, that memory I cannot ever forget, and it's stuff like that that makes me really appreciate those who I surround myself with, because they are two of my closest friends, even though we don't talk as frequently as I would want to. But honestly, those are the people that I like to surround myself with, that we make the best memories with as well. We gotta do another one. We gotta do another one of those. I can't, no question about it. We have to do another one of those. And lastly, favorite thing about spotting. It could be a hobby, it could be your job, doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, anybody can do it. Yes, at times it gets irritating having to explain to some people what you are doing, what's going on, and maybe irritating to hear people talking to you when you try to focus on that one shot. The thrill of seeing and doing something that you really love is something nobody can ever take away from you. And again, doing it with people, surrounded by people who love the exact same thing that you are doing, is something that can never be replaced. Never! So, if you want to go plane spotting, just do it. There's nothing wrong with it. And plane spotting is not illegal. And there we have it. I'm surprised I managed to get through all 40 questions. And it only took this amount of time. But anyways, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Gotta find out what else I'm gonna do in order to pass time until my hard drive comes. Maybe I'll do another plane crash investigation. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. We go link. Bye bye.